So we will be starting the Majalis with the recitation of Hadith Qissa by Brother Ali Raza. Salawat. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. عن جابر بن عبد الله أنصاره عن فاطمة الزهراء عليها السلام بنت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله قال سمعت فاطمة أنها قالت دخل علي أبي رسول الله في بعض الأيام فقال السلام عليك يا فاطمة فقلت عليك السلام قال إني أجد في بدني ضعفا فقلت له أعوذك بالله يا عبداه من الضعف فقال يا فاطمة ائتيني بالكساء اليماني فغطيني به فآتيته بالكساء اليماني فغطيته به وصرت أنظر إليه وإذا وجهه يتلالع كأنه البدر في ليلة تمامه وكماله. اللهم محمد. فما كانت إلا ساعة وإذا بولدي الحسن قد أقبل وقال السلام عليك يا أماه فقلت عليك السلام يا قرة عيني وثمرة فؤادي فقال يا أماه إني أشم إنك رائحة طيبة كأنها رائحة جدي رسول الله فقلت نعم إن جدك تحت الكساء فأقبل الحسن نحو الكساء فقال السلام عليك يا جداه يا رسول الله أتأذن لي أن أدخل معك تحت الكساء فقال وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا صاحب حوزي قد أذنت لك فدخل معه تحت الكساء. اللهم صل. فما كانت إلا ساعة وإذا بولدي الحسن قد أقبل وقال السلام عليك يا أماه فقلت وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا قرة عيني وثمرة فؤادي فقال يا أماه إني أشم إنك رائحة طيبة كأنها رائحة جدي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله فقلت نعم إن جدك وأخاك تحت كساء فدنا الحسين نحو الكساء وقال السلام عليك يا جداه السلام عليك يا من اختاره الله وتأذنوا لي أن أكون تحت كساء فقال وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا شافي عمتي قد عزمت لك فدخل معه تحت كساء. صلوات. فأقبل إن ذلك أبو الحسن علي بن أبي طالب وقال
السلام عليك يا بنت رسول الله. فقلت نعم. فقلت وعليك السلام يا أبا الحسن ويا أمير المؤمنين. فقال يا فاطمة إني أشم عندك رائحة طيبة كأنها رائحة أخي وابن عمي رسول الله. فقلت نعم، ها هو مع ولديك تحت الكساء. فأقبل علي نحو الكساء وقال السلام عليك يا رسول الله، أتأذن لي أن أكون معكم تحت الكساء؟ قال له وعليك السلام يا أخي ويا وصي وخليفتي وصاحب لوائي، قد أذنت لك. فدخل علي تحت الكساء. صلوات. ثم أتيت نحو الكساء وقلت السلام عليك يا عبتاه يا رسول الله، أتأذن لي أن أكون معكم تحت الكساء؟ قال وعليك السلام يا بنتي ويا بصعتي، قد أذنت لك. فدخلت تحت الكساء. فلما اكتملنا جميعا تحت الكساء أخذ أبي رسول الله بطرفي الكساء وأومع بيده اليمنى إلى السماء وقال اللهم إن هؤلاء أهل بيتي وخاصتي وحامتي، لحمهم لحمي ودمهم دمي، يؤلمني ما يؤلمهم ويحزنني ما يحزنهم. أنا حرب لمن حاربهم وسلم لمن سالمهم وعدو لمن عاداهم ومحب لمن أحبهم. إنهم مني وأنا منهم، فاجعل صلواتك وبركاتك ورحمتك وغفرانك ورضوانك علي وعليهم، وأذهب عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. صلوات. فقال الله عز وجل يا ملائكتي ويا سكان سماواتي، إني ما خلقت سماعا مبنية ولا أرضا مدحية ولا قمرا منيرا ولا شمسا مضيئة ولا فلكا يدور ولا بحرا يجري ولا فلكا يسري إلا لأجلكم ومحبتكم. وقد هم تحت الكساء. فقال العمين جبرائيل يا ربي ومن تحت الكساء؟ فقال عز وجل هم أهل بيتي نبوتي ومعدن رسالتي، هم فاطمة وأبوها وبالوها وبنوها. صلوات. فقال جبرائيل يا ربي أتأذن لي أن أهبط إلى الأرض ليكون معهم سادسا؟ فقال الله نعم قد أذنت لك. فحابت العامين جبرائيل وقال السلام عليك يا رسول الله العلي الأعلى، يخرجك السلام ويخصك بالتحية والكرام ويقول لك وعزتي وجلالي إني ما خلقت سماعا مبنية ولا أرضا مدحية ولا قمرا منيرا ولا شمسا مضيئة ولا فلكا يدور ولا بحرا يجري ولا فلكا يسري إلا لأجلكم ومحبتكم. وقد أذن لي أن أدخل معكم، فهل تأذنوا لي يا رسول الله؟ فقال رسول الله وعليك السلام يا عمينا وحي الله، إنه نعم قد أذنت لك. فدخل جبرائيل معنا تحت الكساء فقال لأبي إن الله قد أوحى إليكم يقول إنما يريد الله ليذهب عنكم الرجس أهل البيت ويطهركم تطهيرا. صلوات. فقال علي لأبي يا رسول الله أخبرني ما لجلسين هذا تحت الكساء من الفضل عند الله. فقال النبي والذي بعثني بالحق نبيا واصطفاني بالرسالة نجيا ما ذكر خبرون هذا في محفل من محافل أهل الأرض وفيه جمع من شياطين ومحبين وفيه محموما إلا وفرج الله همه ولا مخموما إلا وكشف الله غمه ولا طالب حاجة إلا وقضى الله حاجته. فقال علي إذا والله فزنا وسئلنا وكذلك الشياطون فازوا وسعدوا في الدنيا والآخرة ورب الكعبة. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم إني أسألك بحق محمد وأنت المحمود لا يمين وبحق علي وأنت الأعلى وبحق الفاطمة وأنت الفاطر السماوات والأرض وبحق الحسن وأنت المحسن وبحق الحسين وأنت الخاتم الإحسان وبحق الأئمة تسعة الطاهرين من ذرية الحسين عليه السلام. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد.
Now I would like to invite Brother Muhammad Ali and Brother Hussein Ali for a salam.
ये खात्म शाह ने लिखा हबीब आ जाओ। 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 तुम्हारा दोस्त है तन्हा हबीब आ जाओ। तुम्हारा दोस्त है तन्हा हबीब आ जाओ। ये खत्म शाह ने लिखा हबीब आ जाओ। ये खत्म शाह ने लिखा हबीब आ जाओ। शहीद कैसे हुआ वो बताओगे आकर। तुम हाले मुस्लिम भी कस सुनाओगे आकर। सकीना तकती है रास्ता हबीब आ जाओ। ये खत्म शाह ने लिखा हबीब आ जाओ। ये खत्म शाह ने लिखा हबीब आ जाओ। लगाओ इस से भी अंदाज़े मेरी गुर्बत के। जहाँ पे इब्ने अली लिखना था वहाँ मैंने दिया है माँ का हवाला हबीब आ जाओ। ये खत्म शाह ने लिखा हबीब आ जाओ। ये खत्म शाह ने लिखा हबीब आ जाओ। बता रहा था उस कोई हबीब आएगा, है उसको तुम पे भरोसा, हबीब आ जाओ। ये खत में शाह ने लिखा, हबीब आ जाओ। ये खत में शाह ने लिखा, हबीब आ जाओ। वो जब ये सुनती है कूफे से आ रही है शकी, तू पहुंचती है हमारा भी आ गया कोई, दुआएं देगी सकीना, हबीब आ जाओ। ये खत में शाह ने लिखा, हबीब आ जाओ। ये खत में शाह ने लिखा, हबीब आ जाओ। तुम्हारा दोस्त है तन्हा, हबीब आ जाओ। तुम्हारा दोस्त है तन्हा, हबीब आ जाओ। ये खत में शाह ने लिखा, हबीब आ जाओ। ये खत में शाह ने लिखा, हबीब आ जाओ। सलवात।
Now I would like to invite Dr. Shaeba Rizvi to the member. Please recite aloud salawat.
Jazakallah. As we are followers of one Imam, believers in one Allah, let us sit together as one as well. If it's possible, if those of you who have chosen the back, if you can choose the front, no pressure. Those who want to stay where they are will stay where they are. But I will be grateful for those that move forward. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد نبيه وآله وسلم تسليما صلوات ما صل على محمد وآل محمد. Dearest Mu'mineen, lovers of the Ahlul Bayt, it is my honor once again to see you. As I look at your faces, I wonder why you are here. Have you come because your parents forced you? Have you come because you have chosen to come? Do you come with purpose? Do you come with randomness? Sometimes people come because they choose to come to a place and there's a purpose they have, there is a niyat they have. Your intentions are amongst the most important things that you will do in life. That means when you do something with intention, that intention will be fulfilled. Allah looks at intentions. In Islam, we call intentions niyat, niyah. When you pray salat, you say, I pray salat. You say, salat parta hoon. You say, salatul maghrib. You say, teen rakat. That is your niyat. Even if you don't say niyat, your niyat is there. Whether you actually vocalize your intention or not, your niyat is there. Did any of you leave your home with a niyat? As you left your home, was it, I am going to the Imam Bargah. मैं नियत करता हूँ, Imam Bargah जा रहा हूँ, फर्श अज़ा पे बैठने. Do you ever make that intention? When you make your intention, it becomes ibadat. If I eat because I love pizza, that's not ibadat. But if I eat because niyat karta hu khane ki kyunki Allah ne rizq diya hai. I'm eating because Allah has given me sustenance, He has given me this body, and therefore I am going to do the intention of eating to sustain this body. With the risk given to me from Allah, then that becomes ibadat. If you want to sleep just because I'm tired, I'm going to sleep and snore a little. Well, I do, not that you guys snore. That's something that older people do, and not everyone. So they have different talent levels in that as well. I can cause earthquakes and make planes crash, so I never sleep on the airplane. But if you do niyat because you're tired, that's you're sleeping because you're tired. No. But if you sleep because Allah created sleep for you, now that becomes ibadat. If as you're leaving the door to come here, oh man, do I have to go there again and listen to that guy and he's going to talk about the prophets? I've heard all that. I already know everything. Boring stories. Can I stay at home? There's a game coming on. I promised my friends I'd meet them. I was going to play this game. I just got that. I wanted to read this book. Then your intentions are in conflict. But if you have to do something anyway, if your parents are going to make you do it, then you might as well do it with intention. When your intention comes into it, then Allah is blessing you and you will take something from it. When you pray salah, you would take a gift from it. When you come here with intention, you will take back a gift from it. I'm not giving that to you. I'm just going to talk a little bit. The Imam is giving it to you. Allah is giving it to you through the Imam. So let's have a salawat for our holy Imam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Let's have another salawat in unity and a little louder. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. MashaAllah. Now in social media we see the weirdest videos and the weirdest types of information. Mostly misinformation, but sometimes information. This is not advice to the children. I'm not giving you advice. Definitely you don't want to do this. And if anybody does this, then the parents will blame me and I'll get in trouble. So please don't do this ever. But it's just something that I noticed out there and it connects to certain ideas. And the video was about somebody who was suing their parents. I don't know how common this is or whether you've heard this before. Some of you are smiling. I'm not even sure if this is something that's out there and it's viral, but I saw it and I was just shocked. And they're suing their parents for giving birth to them. That's right. They said, I'm going to sue my mom and dad because they gave birth to me, because they made me. And so then they said, why are you suing your parents? And they're saying, well, I didn't ask to be born. If I didn't ask to be born, how are you giving birth to me and putting me into this world? And then they even had a solution for that. So, I mean, how can you find out, if somebody wants to be born or not? They said that during the pregnancy, they should hire a psychic who will psychically communicate with the baby in the womb and ask the baby, do you want to be born? If the baby wants to be born, they will continue with the pregnancy. If the baby doesn't want to be born, they will unfortunately terminate the pregnancy. So that to me was amazing because I remember years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, I remember the first time I heard something similar to this, but it was almost as a complaint against God. And in the complaint against God, somebody said, well, I didn't ask to be created, so why did Allah create me? And what I loved about this little video, as weird as it is, was that they had an idea. The idea was that if you can communicate with the being before they are born, you can find out if they want to be born. So I ask you this, do you think Allah does not know whether somebody wants to be born or not? That's what I said to them 5, 7 years ago when they were like, I didn't want to be created. Allah, God created me and then put me in this world and then made me do all these things that I don't want to do. I have to wake up and go to school. I have to, do this. I have to do this community work. I have to help those people. I didn't want to do any of that. I have to pray 5 times a day and I have to fast and stay hungry. All of these hardships, I didn't want to do them. Why did Allah create me and force me to do them? And I said, how do you know you didn't want to? How do you know? Do you remember before you were created? Maybe He did ask you. Maybe He asked you, do you want to be? And you said, yes, I want to be. and so He created you. When we come into this world, there's much of the past that we don't remember. In other words, you were traveling with Hazrat Nuh in the boat. Anybody who is alive today was on that boat. I don't mean you literally, you in your present form like you are right now with your jeans and shirt. I mean you in your kurta shalwar. No, you were in the loins of your forefathers. You were in your forefathers. So if you know your lineage and you can follow it back to how it leads to Hazrat Nuh, because when Hazrat Nuh's ark, his Safina Nuh, when it was in the world, what happened to everything else in the world? Finished. All life on earth finished. At least the land based life. I don't know what happened to the fish. I'm sure they were fine. They were probably happy. They're like, oh, look, it's only us now. We're going to have a good time. No more humans to put rubbish into our lakes and rivers and oceans and poison it. They didn't have plastic then, but maybe they were putting other rubbish in there. So, all of the life that is on the earth, the land life, is all in that boat. Now, when that boat sets sail and eventually lands back in Kufa, everybody gets off, and all their children are going to be born, their children, their children, their children, and you're part of that. So you were alive at that time because everybody's identity, all of us, was put into Hazrat Adam. That means Hazrat Adam, the first being, the first human, in him, all of us are there. Maybe we were neighbors. Maybe we don't remember. There is veil over our memory because it's a test. You know how like you can give an open book test? Have you ever given an open book test? Have you ever given an open book test that wasn't an open book test, but you opened your book anyway because no one was watching? Hopefully not. When you give an open book test, it's all in front of you. But when it's not an open book test, then you're being tested on how you will think to answer the questions without looking at that memory. And that same way, this world is not an open, in some ways, it is an open book test. But basically, this is a test where you don't remember exactly what happened before this. And that's why you're being tested. If you did and everybody remembered everything, the test would not be the same. So the test has certain boundaries, certain rules. And those rules are that we don't remember what was happening before this. So we were all little specks, they say. We were put into Hazrat Adam, little zarrat, little particles. We were not the nafs or the ruh. Those are different things. I would have talked about those, but I don't think everybody among the ages that I have in front of me would be understanding that. So let's keep it simple. We were particles, and these particles had an identity. And Allah asked you, am I not your Lord? Am I not your Allah? And we all said, yes, you are. So we don't remember that. But now we come into this world. And in this world, there's two things for us, the physical and the metaphysical. Have you heard of the term metaphysical? Have you heard of the term physical? So physical, there's physical education, there's physical therapy. What kind of physical have you heard of? When we say physical, we mean things you can touch, things you can see. I see you, you see me. This is physical. Things you can hear, things you can taste and smell. So the things that are grasped by the senses. How many senses do you have? 5 senses. These 5 senses allow you to see the physical. Do you know you have senses besides these as well? Inside of you, you have many senses. You have organs in your body that can sense how much sugar you have. What about the sense of hunger? Have you ever felt hunger? That's a sense. And your stomach senses it. Thirst. That's a sense. Your brain senses it. There's many senses that are internal and many senses external. The external are 5. Metaphysical means above the physical. Metaphysical means that it is outside of the physical realm. What is an example of outside of the physical realm? what's in the physical realm, you can test. You can test with your five senses. I see this, I hear it, I taste it, I smell it, I touch it. That is physical. Is there something that exists that you cannot touch, you cannot taste, you cannot see, you cannot smell, you cannot hear? Yes, what were you going to say? Sorry? Beautiful. Wow. That was what I was going to talk about. पहुंचे हुए लोग हैं ये अली वालों की औलाद है. I'm very impressed. You can't prove pain, happiness, sadness, calmness, fear. How do you prove these things? When someone is in pain, how can you prove they are in pain? That's what Hazrat Behlol said, right? You've heard the story of Hazrat Behlol. When he walked by this classroom, he saw Abu Hanifa giving a class. He was an imam of one of the sects of Islam, and he had his own theories. He had learned some things from our Imam Jafar al-Sadiq, as-salatu was-salamu alayhi. Ma salli alayhi Muhammad. But as he walked by, as you know how the story goes, that Hazrat Behlol was walking by, and Abu Hanifa was telling the students, because he had certain beliefs, he believed in determinism, and that means that Allah determines everything. We don't have freedom of action. You don't get to decide what you want to do. You don't even decide if you're going to drink water or orange juice. When you pick one, Abu Hanifa would say, well, that is what Allah wanted you to do. That's why you picked it. If I put in front of you apple juice and I say, here's orange juice, which one do you want? And you say, I'll have the orange juice. Abu Hanifa would say, no, you didn't choose that. He chose it for you and forced you to do it. You don't have any free will. And then he also said that how is it possible that God will not be seen on the day of judgment? Because he said that God is visible. And then he said that how is it possible that Iblis will be punished on the day of judgment? Because Iblis is made of fire, and if hell is fire, then Iblis is a jinn. Jinn are made of fire. Fire doesn't burn in fire. Nothing's going to happen to Iblis because they're of the same material. And what did Hazrat Behlol do? A lump of clay from the ground, threw it on him. This is an amazing, ingenious response because in one shot, he answered all three questions. After he threw it, it hit Abu Hanifa. Abu Hanifa went and complained. And he went and complained to Harun Rashid, who was their caliph of that time. And when he went and complained to him, Harun Rashid called Behlol in and said, hey, Behlol, did you do that? And he said, yeah, I did it, but I didn't do it. And he says, what do you mean you didn't do it? He says, Allah made me do it. And he said, how did Allah make you do it? He said, ask him. Ask this guy. He was saying, Allah makes you do everything. Allah made me do it. I don't get any punishment for this. Go ask Allah why He made me do it. And he said, but I have pain and you've caused me pain. And he said, where's your pain? And he said, I'm feeling it. He said, no, show me. I don't see it. If I can't see it, it's not real. You said Allah will be seen because what is not seen is not real. And then he says, and why does it even hurt you? You're made of clay. I threw clay at you. If fire won't burn in fire and fire doesn't hurt fire, how does clay hurt clay? So in one little stroke, he disproved everything. So there is physical and there is metaphysical. The metaphysical is, yes, it is the emotions. It is also the nur of the Masumeen. It is Allah, who is the ultimate metaphysical reality. Although it's hard to describe Him in words, so to even say metaphysical for Allah is a little different because He created physical and metaphysical. So He is something indescribable. But there's very important things for you that are metaphysical. Now, you have a physical body. Your physical body was made by your parents. How do you take care of your physical body? You exercise. You eat healthy, right? Junk food is not really food. That's why we call it junk. If you look at the name junk, junk means things to throw away. What do you do with junk? You throw it away. No, I'm not saying you shouldn't eat chips. I do like potato chips. It's my weakness. And chocolate and cookies and donuts. But we have to limit it. Now I'm getting hungry. but we have to limit it because it's junk. You have to eat real food. What's real food? Roti and chawal, right? Dal and gosht. That is real food. You take care of your body with real food and with exercise. When you use your body, you get stronger. Push ups, pull ups, running, exercise. So these things must also apply to the metaphysical. That means if you have a metaphysical part of you, what is the metaphysical part of you called? Your ruh is metaphysical, your spirit. Your nafs is metaphysical. That's your soul. Your soul, your spirit, they are metaphysical. How are you going to strengthen your spirit? You must have risk. There needs to be something that you take in. And what is that? That is Quran, Salat, that is Majlis, Matam, Noha, the names of Allah, the names of the Masumeen, knowledge about them, knowledge about what they said, knowledge about their status. This is going to give food to your metaphysical self. Your metaphysical is more powerful than your physical. If you make your metaphysical stronger, you'll be able to take one step and you'll be in Makkah. You'll take another step, you'll be in Kufa, another step in Karbala. That is something that is a metaphysical ability. That means if you want to prepare for your Imam, you have to prepare your physical and your metaphysical. What are the exercises? So, what you take in, the fazail of the Ahlul Bayt, no matter how many times you've heard them, they are metaphysical risk. Every word the Ahlul Bayt have said, metaphysical risk. Every time you read the Quran and listen to it, Majlis Matam Noha, metaphysical risk. And how do you strengthen your metaphysical? By action. What is the action you'll do? You have to follow and obey what Allah asked you to do, what your Imam is telling you to do, and what they stop you from doing, you must stop yourselves from doing. Can I have a salawat, please? Wa ali Muhammad. We're still in the city of Kufa. Hazrat Idris's grandson, his grandson's name is Nuh, and Nuh is a prophet of Allah. He lives in Kufa. He has a wife and two sons. One of his sons is a believer, Sam. He will be the next prophet. The other one, Yafiz, is so. He's going to end up drowning in the flood. He doesn't believe. He even makes fun of his dad. Him and Nuh's wife, Hazrat Nuh's wife, made fun of him. They were actually party with the disbelievers. They would spend more time with the disbelievers. Whenever the disbelievers came to Hazrat Nuh's wife and said, "What is your husband doing going on preaching this Allah, Allah?" And she would make fun of him. She would say, "He's gone a little mad. He's not in his senses. Just ignore him." And he would preach the divine faith. He had around 1,000 followers. And majority of the people didn't follow him. Another king had taken the place of the evil king at the time of Idris. So whenever a prophet guided a king, maybe he came to the path, but after him the next one would go right back to the old ways. So Hazrat Nuh is going about teaching and preaching. You know what they used to do to Hazrat Nuh whenever he preached to them? And say, "I am a prophet of Allah, and you should follow Allah. You should not worship a king. You should know there is only one true God." They would throw stones at him. And it is said they would throw so many stones at Hazrat Nuh that he would end up going unconscious from it. And they would keep on throwing stones at him until there was a big pile of rocks and Hazrat Nuh was under those rocks. Can you imagine how much that would hurt? Day after day, every day. It is said that when he would regain consciousness, he would get up out of the rocks, brush himself off, and then go about his duty again. He said, "Allah has sent me for this mission. I'm going to keep on doing this." So he would always do that. He would go to the people and say, "Why don't you follow the true Allah?" And the only people who followed Hazrat Nuh was not the rich people. It was the poor people. So the poor people followed him, the rich people didn't. Because they didn't like what he had to say. They already had power and control and wealth and money, and that's what they wanted. Whenever they came to Hazrat Nuh, they would say, "If You actually said things that we thought were truthful, we would follow you. But look at you. You look just like a human being. If you were truly from Allah, you would look like an angel. And they said, we're not going to follow you because you only the poor people are following you. They would say, look at those people. They're losers. They would say they are losers. In other words, they have no money, they have no food, they don't have any good clothes, they have any good homes. They're just the poor people of society, and we're the rich and wealthy. We are the powerful. So if you get rid of those poor people, then maybe we'll think about following your religion. We don't want a religion that is for poor people. We want a religion for the wealthy and mighty. They refuse to listen. They reached the point where they could no longer be corrected. Hazrat Nuh prayed to Allah and said, these people have gone astray. They don't want the right path. They refuse the right path. They have become obstinate. And then what we see is that Hazrat Nuh's prayer is accepted, and Allah says, okay, I will send a flood, but give them more warning. So Hazrat Nuh went and gave them more warning and said that if you don't, then a flood is coming. They made fun of Hazrat Nuh. They said, oh Nuh, what kind of ridiculous talk is this, that there's going to be a flood and we're all going to be drowned? We don't believe in this. This is nonsense, they said. And Hazrat Nuh then went back and said to Allah, they refused to listen. I have tried and tried again. 950 years Hazrat Nuh is living. For at least 500 of those years, he is with these people, preaching to them. Imagine that. How much patience you need to do that. It's hard to do it for one day, for 1 hour. Hazrat Nuh is doing it for 500 years. They refuse to listen. So then we see that Hazrat Nuh goes to Allah and Allah says, okay, Nuh, I want you to take these seeds that I'm sending you from heaven. They are the seeds for a date, kajur. They are seeds for the trees of a date. And I want you to plant those, and as the trees bloom, you will use the wood that comes from that to build your ship. Hazrat Nuh says, okay. He gets the seeds. 1,000 followers come to Hazrat Nuh, the 1,000 poor people that were following him. And they say, what is this, O Nuh? And he said, these are the seeds. I will plant these. When the tree grows, then we will go. The people get a little disappointed. They say, wait a minute. You mean we have to wait for this whole tree to grow? And then we're going to make a ship out of it? And then we're going to go? That's going to take forever. Have you ever lost patience? Have you ever felt impatient? Me too. Sometimes we get impatient. This is taking forever. How long is this going to take? A favorite question of children in the car is, when are we going to get there? Right? When are we going to get there? And I'm not saying you shouldn't ask that question. That's okay. I just give my kids the ETA when we take off so that they know. But patience is very, very powerful. And patience is not about when are we going to get there. That was just a joke. But patience is about when we don't get what we want when we want it, then how do we react? That means you will get what you want, but you might not get it when you want it. Now there's your will, I want it, and maybe there's your parents' will, what they want. And what you want and what they want might be for a different time. I want it now. They want to give it to you when the time is right. You think the time is right now. They think the time is right not now. So it is a battle, but what happens is when you are patient, then you become stronger. Patience is the food for your metaphysical self. And as you get stronger and your metaphysical gets stronger, then you will want less and you will be able to be more patient. Allah has advised patience in the Quran all the time because there's things I want right now, but Allah knows when is the best time to give it to me. And that's why if I am patient, I will get it. But when I am patient, I am thankful to Allah. And I am patient with the realization that He knows best. This is not the right time for me. Do you think you know more or your parents know more? Maybe don't answer that question, because all children think they know more than their parents. Until they get older and become parents, they will always think they know more. We can't help it. Until you grow up and until you have children of your own, and then you'll see. And then you'll say, yeah, they used to say that. Now I get it. But that'll take another 20, 30 years for you to get it. So patience. So that means we have to accept there are people wiser than us, people who know more than us. And it's not that our parents hate us, they love us. It's not that they are our enemies and they want us to suffer. It's that if you get this right now, it won't be good for you. Because what you are looking at is self satisfaction. What they are looking at is your success. They want you to succeed. So Hazrat Nu is talking to the people and they say, oh man, we're going to have to wait so many years. It takes these years for this to grow, 30 years. Oh Nu, are we going to wait 30 years? I said, yeah, you're going to wait 30 years. So the 1,000 of them go away and they go back to their lives. And Hazrat Nu plants it, the tree grows. 30 years later, they come back. The ones that were 30 are now 60. The ones that had just been born are now 30. And as they come back, and the ones that were 60 are now 90, coming with a stick. And as they come, they say, oh, Nu, we are ready to go. Nu says, okay, let me go and ask my Lord. Oh Allah, the trees are ready. Can I cut them now? Allah says, Nu, take from these trees the dates, eat them, take out the seed, and plant it again. And when the tree grows, then we'll cut that tree. Hazrat Nu knows what's going to happen when he goes back and tells the people this. But he goes and tells them. He says, oh people, Allah has commanded us that we must be patient and we must eat these dates and plant the seeds again. You can imagine how unhappy most of the people were. When they came, that 1,000, when 30 years later, that 1,000 had become 500. 500. 500 had gone away. In 30 years, they lost their patience. It's not easy. 30 years is not easy to wait. Sometimes I want the toy right now. And my parents say, no, you'll get it at the end of the year when you show me some good grades. I have to wait 6 months, 1 year, 3 months. Sometimes we don't want to wait till weekend. Yes, I'll get it for you on the weekend. On the weekend? That's 3 days away. We don't want to wait. They couldn't wait 30 years. 500 gone. 500 come in front and they say, okay, we're ready. Hazrat Nu says we have to plant these seeds again. They get angry, some of them, they go back. 30 years pass by. Some of them had been waiting, have been buried. Some of new ones are born. The young become old. They return back to Hazrat Nu and they say, now we are ready. Hazrat Nu says, let me ask my Lord. Allah tells Hazrat Nu, not yet. Again eat the dates, again plant the seeds, and wait another 30 years. The one who had been waiting from the beginning is now going to be 90. And many would have gone. When 30 years pass by again, they come back. Now, when they left the first time 500, the second time they came back, there were about 200. And the next time they come back, there's about a dozen people left. And all of what you see here is from those people. And this is a test of patience. Our Imam one time, when he was asked, Imam Jafar al-Sadiq, as-salatu was-salamu alayhi, was asked about the ghaibat of your Imam, and why is your Imam in ghaiba? He said that you have to look at the ghaiba of Nu to understand. And they said, but Hazrat Nu was never in ghaiba. He was never behind the veil. He was never disappeared. He was always in front of the people. They said, Imam said, no, we're talking about the Safina of Nu. This was in ghaibat. People were waiting for salvation. They were waiting for the Safina. Hazrat Nu was there, but his ship, his ark wasn't there. So that was in ghaiba. And as they waited for that ship, as years passed by, they disappeared. More and more of them left the faith. They became impatient, and at the end, there were barely a dozen people left. Under 30, it says. Under 30 people left. So, your Ahlul Bayt are called the Safinatun Nijat. Imam Hussein has been called the Safinatun Nijat. And this is the Safina of Nuh. Safina means boat. So that was the boat of Nuh. Imam Hussein is the Safina of Nijat, which is salvation. That means Imam Hussein's son is also salvation. And we are waiting for him. But every century that goes by and the ghabat doesn't happen, more and more people will leave the faith. So we have to practice patience. But sabr will begin in your daily life. Anytime you want something, and we want something every day and we don't get it, we wanted spaghetti but we got dal, we wanted pizza but we got bangan, we wanted this but we got that. That is testing your patience. I wanted this shirt and I got that shirt. Patience. I wanted this and my parents say I'm going to get it not now, later. We should not be like the people who left Hazrat Nuh, nor should we be like the people who will leave our Imam if they are impatient. So patience is your superpower. This is a metaphysical superpower that will serve you very well. एक सलावात पढ़ दीजिए. एक बार फिर सलावात. अलैहि मोहम्मद या अली अल्लाहुम्मा सल्ली अला मुहम्मद व आलि मुहम्मद. And I was so happy to see the way we had arranged ourselves in Matam yesterday. That was amazing. I'm hoping that we will do that today again as well, because we are one nation, the Azadar of Imam Hussein. We are one nation waiting for our Savior. It is said that Imam Hussein alayhi salam has a friend. There is a friend of Imam Hussein whose name is Habib ibn Mazahir. Habib ibn Mazahir was a friend of Imam Hussein's and a lover of Imam Hussein from a very young age. When Imam Hussein used to be in the arms of his Nana, the Holy Prophet, and he used to walk down the streets of Medina, it is said that Habib ibn Mazahir as a young boy would walk behind him, always looking at the face of Imam Hussein. It is said that he loved Imam Hussein so much that every time he saw Imam Hussein put his feet on the ground, he would take the sand from under Imam Hussein's feet and keep it with him. He loved Imam Hussein to the point that one time, when they were in Karbala and they were surrounded by the enemy and Ashur was approaching, at that time the sister of Imam Hussein, the eldest daughter of Imam Ali, came to Imam Hussein and she said, "Oh brother, I see that the other army is getting larger and larger, but on your side, I'm not seeing more people coming to support you." She said, "Why don't you call your friend?" And he said, "Who should I call?" She said, "Your friend Habib, who is in Kufa. Why don't you call him?" So Imam Hussein wrote a letter to Hazrat Habib. It is said that the person who was to deliver the letter took it to his home, and Hazrat Habib was in his home about to eat dinner at that time when the mailman arrived. He said, "I am a messenger of Imam Hussein and I have brought the letter." Imam Hussein got up and Hazrat Habib got up, went to the door, opened the door, took the letter from him. He kissed it and put it on his eyes, and then as he read it, tears started to flow into his eyes. Flowed from his eyes as he read it, and the letter said, "Oh Habib, I am Hussein, and I am all alone in the plains of Karbala. If you wish to come and help me, for I am with my family and women and children, then you should come now, and you should reach Karbala before Ashur. Otherwise, after Ashur, I will see you in Qiyamah. You will not see Hussein again." Hazrat Habib, it is said, sat down, thought about it. His wife said, "What are you thinking about?" He said, "I don't know if I should go or not." She said, "Oh Habib, how can you even think when the son of Fatima is calling you? If you do not go, I will go to fight for Imam Hussein." Habib says to his wife, "Of course I will go. I just wanted to see what you would say." With great difficulty, he manages to evade the soldiers that were looking for people going to help Imam Hussein and manages to leave and goes out. Him and his servant and one horse, they get together and they reach Imam Hussein. When they reach Imam Hussein, it is said that there is so much happiness. And the happiness that is there because no one had been coming to support Imam Hussein, and he was the first one that arrived. And it is said that at that time, Bibi Fizza comes and says, "Oh Habib, you should know the daughter of Ali has sent her salam upon you." At that time, Habib falls to the ground and he picks up sand and puts it on his head and says, "What time has come upon the Ahlul Bayt that the women of the Ahlul Bayt and the daughters of Ali are sending salam upon one like Habib?" And as he cries, he gets ready for battle. It is said that when the time for prayer came, and Imam Hussein said, "Go and ask them for a few minutes for prayer, and then the battle will begin." This was when they had stopped for prayer. At that time, the army of Umar ibn Sa'd, Mal'un, they said, "Oh Hussein, what do you need to pray for? Your prayers will not be accepted." This Habib could not hear, and he immediately attacked them and said, "How dare you say that about my Mawla?" And it is said that he fought bravely, he sent many of the enemy to hell, and then he was martyred. Imam Hussein reached him and held his head in his arms as he watched his friend from birth pass away before him. فَسَيَعْلَمُ الَّذِينَ ظَلَمُوا وَأَيَّ مُنْقَلَبٍ يَنْقَلِبُونَ مَاتَمِ Hussein.
Now I would like to invite Brother Muhammad Ali and Brother Hussein Ali for an Noha.
ए दिल बराने जाफर तैयार अलविदा 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 ए दिल बराने जाफर तैयार अलविदा 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 बिनते अली ये बच्चों से कहती थी बार बार बिनते अली ये बच्चों से कहती थी बार बार रनको से दारो ओन मोहम्मद ये मान सार है दिल बरान जाफर तैयार अलविदा 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 है दिल बरान जाफर तैयार अलविदा 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 जाफर का इफ्तिखार बढ़ाना जिहाद में जाफर का इफ्तिखार बढ़ाना जिहाद में नाना की अपनी शान दिखाना जिहाद में ए दिल बरान जाफर तैयार अलविदा 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 ए दिल बरान जाफर तैयार अलविदा 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 शेर खुदा की बेटी के तुम दोनों शेर हो शेर खुदा की बेटी के तुम दोनों शेर हो मैदान में जाओ फतह में अब कुछ न देर हो ए दिल बरान जाफर तैयार अलविदा 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 ए दिल बरान जाफर तैयार अलविदा 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 हर बात अपने सिन से सिवा हो तो बात है हर बात अपने सिन से सिवा हो तो बात है हो रन पड़े कि अशर बपा हो तो बात है ए दिल बरान जाफर तैयार अलविदा 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 ए दिल बरान जाफर तैयार अलविदा 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 घेरे रहे सिपाह मगर मुंह न मोड़ना घेरे रहे सिपाह मगर मुंह न मोड़ना हैदर की यादगार हूँ मैदान छोड़ना, ए दिल बरान जाफर तैयार। अलविदा 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 अलविदा, ए दिल बरान जाफर तैयार। अलविदा 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 अलविदा, शिमरो उमर के सर जो तारो तो खुश हूँ मैं, शिमरो उमर के सर जो तारो तो खुश हूँ मैं, दुश्मन को झूम झूम के मारो तो खुश हूँ मैं, ए दिल बरान जाफर तैयार। अलविदा 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 अलविदा, ए दिल बरान जाफर तैयार। अलविदा 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 अलविदा, अब तो ये आरज़ू है कि तुम रन में काम आओ, अब तो ये आरज़ू है कि तुम रन में काम आओ, सहरीब के बदले खून भरे चेहरे मुझे दिखाओ, ए दिल बरान जाफर तैयार। अलविदा 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 अलविदा, ए दिल बरान जाफर तैयार। अलविदा 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 अलविदा, बच्चों ज़ईफ़ मामू को ज़हमत न दीजियो, बच्चों ज़ईफ़ मामू को ज़हमत न दीजियो, लाशें उठाएं भाई तो जुम्बिश न कीजियो, ए दिल बरान जाफर तैयार। अलविदा 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 अलविदा, ए दिल बरान जाफर तैयार। अलविदा 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 अलविदा, प्यासे जो आओगे तो सिला देगी तुमको माँ, आओगे तो देगी तुमको माँ, खुद दौड़ के गले से लगा लेगी तुमको माँ, ए दिल बराने जाफर तैयार। अलविदा 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 अलविदा, ए दिल बराने जाफर तैयार। अलविदा 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 अलविदा।
Now I would like to invite Brother Kian Ali for another Noha.
Ya Hassan, ya Hassan. मेरा सेहर वाला अकबर, मेरा सेहर वाला अकबर, मेरा सेहर वाला अकबर, मेरा सेहर वाला अकबर, जख्म दिल के दिखाऊं मैं कैसे, जख्म दिल के दिखाऊं मैं कैसे, तेरा लाशा उठाऊं मैं कैसे अकबर, मेरा सेहर वाला अकबर अकबर, मेरा सेहर वाला अकबर. Wait, this is just not Atara. Wait, what's the other part? Wait. Where is it? No, where is it? Okay. But this is the end. No. No. There's a page missing. Okay. अकबर मेरा सेहर वाला अकबर, लाश अकबर पेशा जब पहुँचे, दिल को हाथों से थाम कर बोले, तेरी फुरकत में ए अली अकबर, आग दिल में मेरे लगा दी है, आग दिल की बुझाऊं दिल की बुझाऊं मैं कैसे, तेरा लाशा उठाऊं मैं कैसे। अकबर मेरा सेहर वाला अकबर, अकबर मेरा सेहर वाला अकबर। तू है करियल जवाना ए बेटा, बाप तेरा ज़ईफ है कितना। नूर आंखों का हो गया रुखसत, मुझको आता नहीं नजर खेमा। लेके खेमों में जाऊं मैं कैसे, लेके खेमों में जाऊं मैं कैसे, तेरा लाशा उठाऊं मैं कैसे। अकबर मेरा सेहर वाला अकबर, अकबर मेरा सेहर वाला अकबर। जिसने 18 साल पाला था, कैसे देखेगी वो तेरा लाशा। तेरी शादी का दाज से अरमान कैसे झेलेगी वो तेरा सदमा। तेरी माँ को बताऊं मैं कैसे, तेरी माँ को बताऊं मैं कैसे, तेरा लाशा उठाऊं मैं कैसे। अकबर मेरा सेहर वाला अकबर, अकबर मेरा सेहर वाला अकबर। देखे आया है काशी दे सुगरा, राह तकती है वो दुखी बेना। तुझको बीमार ने ये बुलाया है, वादा सुगरा का क्यों बुला डाला। गम ये दिल से लगाऊं मैं कैसे, गम ये दिल से लगाऊं मैं कैसे, तेरा लाशा उठाऊं मैं कैसे। अकबर मेरा सेहर वाला अकबर, अकबर मेरा सेहर वाला अकबर। नारे हैदरी।
हुसैन, या हुसैन, या हुसैन। आई हातिफ की आवाज़ शेको, आई हातिफ की आवाज़ शेको। उतरो शबीर ये करबला है, बस कदम अब न आगे बढ़ाओ, बस कदम अब न आगे बढ़ाओ। उतरो शबीर ये करबला है, आई हातिफ की आवाज़ शेको। उतरो शबीर ये करबला है। अब सफर खत्म है इब्न ज़हरा, लबे दरिया करो खैमा बरपा। अब सफर खत्म है इब्न ज़हरा, लबे दरिया करो खैमा बरपा। हश्र तक है यही तुमको रहना, हश्र तक है यही तुमको रहना। उतरो शबीर ये करबला है, आई हातिफ की आवाज़ शेको। उतरो शबीर ये करबला है। यही रोज़ महमा रहोगे, खाने पीने की ईज़ा सहोगे। यही रोज़ महमा रहमा रहोगे, खाने पीने की ईजा सहोगे, भूखे प्यासे यही क़त्ल होंगे, भूखे प्यासे यही क़त्ल होंगे। उतरो शबीर ये करबला है, आई हातिफ की आवाज़ शह को, उतरो शबीर ये करबला है। मरते दम भी न पानी मिलेगा, प्यासी गर्दन पे खंजर चलेगा, मरते दम भी न पानी मिलेगा, प्यासी गर्दन पे खंजर चलेगा, सर चढ़ेगा सेना पर तुम्हारा, सर चढ़ेगा सेना पर तुम्हारा, उतरो शबीर ये करबला है, आई हातिफ की आवाज़ शे को, उतरो शबीर ये करबला है। लाश 40 दिन तक तुम्हारी इसी जंगल में उड़या रहेगी, लाश 40 दिन तक तुम्हारी इसी जंगल में उड़या रहेगी, रोने वाला भी होगा न कोई, रोने वाला भी होगा न कोई, उतरो शबीर ये करबला है, आई हातिफ की आवाज़ शे को, उतरो शबीर ये करबला है। खाएगी जब सकीना तमाचे, यही तर पे गलाशा तुम्हारा, खाएगी जब सकीना तमाचे, यही तर पे गलाशा तुम्हारा, शिमर देगा यही उसको ईज़ा, शिमर देगा यही उसको ईज़ा, उतरो शबीर ये करबला है, आई हातिफ की आवाज़ शे को, उतरो शबीर ये करबला है, बस कदम अब न आगे बढ़ाओ, उतरो शबीर ये करबला है। या हुसैन, या हुसैन, Now we'll be having ziyarat. Assalamu alaikum ya Abu Abdullah. Assalamu alaikum ya Rasulullah. Assalamu alaikum ya Amir al-Mu'minin wa ibn Sayyid al-Wasi'in. Assalamu alaikum ya ibn Fatimah al-Zahra سيدة النساء العالمين. السلام عليك جميع شهداء دشت كربلاء، خصوصا سيدي ومولاي يا أبو الفضل العباس يا ابن أمير المؤمنين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا غريب الغرباء. السلام عليك معين الضعفاء والفقراء. السلام عليك يا سلطان يا أبو الحسن يا علي يا ابن موسى الرضا. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليكم يا صاحب العصر والزمان، ألمان ألمان ألمان. السلام عليك يا شريك القرآن. السلام عليك يا مظهر الأيمان. السلام عليك يا إمام الإنس والجان. السلام عليك يا إمام زمانة، هزا أجل الله تعالى مخرجك وظهورك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.